Hello friends, and welcome to your May 2022 Taroscopes with me, Intuitive Rene. It's always such an honor and a privilege to be here, and I hope you enjoy the content that is coming your way. So what are Taroscopes? What are the monthly Taroscopes, you may be asking? So it is 12 individual readings that are done using the same format, using the same structure, but obviously the reading itself is different, and I do one recording or one reading per sign of the zodiac. And basically, the idea behind these is to give you a little bit of guidance, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of motivation for the month in question. In this particular case, May 2022. So normally, well, for the last couple of months, I've actually stuck with the same format and done the same kind of reading month for each of the months. But this month, I decided to change it up a little bit. So it is a little bit different from the normal, from the usual. And we're doing a 9-card reading, which is quite a detailed reading. I'm sort of looking at, we get the kind of theme for the month. We look at what you should be avoiding, what you should be embracing, what you need to be watching out for, what action you need to take on something. And then obviously we get a little bit of guidance from Spirit thrown in as well. So there is a lot of information. And obviously the readings are quite broad and quite, I'm almost going to say non-specific, but it's done so that you can apply it to your life regardless of what it is that you're going through. There are, I have to say though, in some of the readings, it does get quite specific as to what you can expect, what you need to do, what you need to watch out for, etc. But they are a lot of fun. And the idea behind them is to just to give you a bit of inspiration, to give you a bit of motivation, and just to help you navigate the month, yourself, your situations, and your circumstances. But it's really to help you be the best version of yourself that you can be. So the videos are put into a private or separate playlist on YouTube so that you can access them whenever you need to. And I do set the intention that it's done for your sun sign, your astrological sun sign, your moon sign, or even your rising sign. So if you know a little bit about your own astrology and you're curious about, on an emotional level, how are you going to be, then you would look at your moon sign, for example. Or if you just want to look up your family members or your children or your partner or whoever it is, you can. You have access to all 12 of the videos. So there will be a May 2022 playlist that you can access and that you can have a look at. And in the description of this particular video, I will have links to the others as well. So you could just, once you've watched yours, you can just open up the description at the bottom and you can go and access all the other zodiac signs as well. And the tarot cards that I'm working with this month, I say tarot cards, but I mean the cards that I'm working with this month is the Tarot of Mystical Moments and I've only got the lid of the box here, difficult to hold, and the Oracle of Mystical Moments. So they do work together, and they work together so well. So this is the pairing that I've chosen to use for our May 2022 forecast readings. So friends, these readings are free. There is absolutely no cost to you at all to access these readings. In exchange, all I ask is for you, if you enjoy the video, to give it a thumbs up. And if it speaks to your heart and soul, just leave me a little comment below. It's always so valued and appreciated. And if you haven't already done so, please do consider subscribing to my channel. So you get, on my channel, we do week ahead readings every Sunday. They are released for the week ahead. And then once a week on a Thursday, I have changed it from Fridays to Thursdays. So once a week on a Thursday, you will have some kind of inspirational content, whether it be a pick a card reading, whether it be taroscopes, whether it be whatever it is that comes to me. Occasionally there may be a little bit of a walkthrough of a new tarot deck that I've got, or anything that comes to mind. And I love your support. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I'm going to stop babbling, because you're not here to listen to me, you're here to get your insight into the month of May 2022. So we're gonna, this portion of the video that I'm recording right now, that you're listening to right now, is the same for all signs. So I'm recording one intro, which I stick in front of each of the 12 individual readings. So if you do go to watch another reading, it's like, oh, why is she saying the same things? It's because it's the same video. So, so as soon as I stop talking at this point, it'll go straight into the particular zodiac that you are watching, and then you will get your specific reading. I do hope that you enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your love and support. And I look forward to connecting with you shortly. Right, Pisces, let's get into your reading and let's have a look and see what the month of May has in store for you. So I have shuffled the cards before I started the recording, but I am going to give them quite a detailed shuffle now while I have you on camera. And obviously, if you enjoy watching cards being shuffled and laid out, you are welcome to stick around. But I know not everybody enjoys that process. So I'm only going to start the recording, listen to me, start the reading once I have all 10 cards laid out on the table. I'm going to give the cards quite a detailed shuffle, and then I'm going to lay them out. So if you want to fast forward past this part, if you are on your computer, you can press the L key on your keyboard and it will fast forward you 10 seconds. So you can do that a couple of times until you see that I have laid out all the cards. If you are on your phone or on a tablet, you can just double tap the right hand side of the screen to fast forward a couple of seconds, and you can keep doing that until you see that I have got all the cards laid out, and then the reading will start. So Pisces, we are doing May 2022. Can you believe it? I'm going to just do one more riffle shuffle and then we will start laying out your cards, giving the cards a really, really good shuffle. I think it's so important to do that. And we want to know, like, what's in store for you, what's going to come up for you during the month of May. What are the things that you need to know about? What are the things that you need to be aware about? And this is for all Pisces energy for the month of May 2022. All right, putting the cards back together, cutting the deck over there, and let's lay them out. I'm going to leave a gap over there, and that gap will be for the oracle card that I'm still going to lay out. So once I have finished laying out the tarot, I'm going to shuffle and lay out the oracle card as well, and only then will I start the reading. I always try and do this so neatly and it doesn't always work out. I always seem to get one that seems to go a bit skew and a bit wonky, but looks like we're doing quite okay, Pisces, quite okay. So here is our little oracle deck. Let's give it a little shuffle as well. And let's see because the oracle card is going to give us the first part of our theme for the month of May for all Pisces energy. So let's see what oracle card we get. I'm happy with that shuffle. And I am going to take that card over there. Right, Pisces, cards are all laid out. Now we can get straight into your reading. And we're going to start with this card over here. This card over here is the way that you're coming into the month of May. So Pisces, as the month of May starts, who are you? What are you? What are you dealing with? What is the energy around you? What are you feeling? What are you going through as we come into the month of May? And here we have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is the card of wisdom. It's the card of understanding. It's the card of morals. Okay, and I think the Hierophant is basically saying that you're feeling quite confident. You're feeling quite sure of yourself as we step into the month of May. You're feeling like, you know what, I've been through a lot. I've accomplished a lot. I can handle almost anything that comes my way. I'm not worried. I'm not fearful. I'm not nervous. I'm not anxious, and actually feeling like you've got something to share. Okay, so if anybody needs any bit of guidance or any bit of assistance, you're going to be the go-to person, which is wonderful. So as we go into the month of May, you're feeling confident, you're feeling sure of yourself, you're feeling like you've got something to offer, something to share, which I think is really lovely. So you're not coming into the month with any kind of anxiety, with any kind of stress, with any kind of worry, or nothing like that, which is nice to know. Let's look at your theme for the month. So we're going to start with the Oracle. These two cards are going to give us the theme. So we've got the Oracle plus a Tarot, and the two combined will give us the theme. But we're going to look at the Oracle first. And the oracle that you've got is day and night. And the message that this is giving us for you, Pisces, is, recognizing, I almost want to say, the differences between day and night. Here she's sitting and she's holding the sun in her hand, and behind her comes the moon. And then she shifts between the two. So it's telling you that you may find yourself, the way that you enter the month, the way that you exit the month may be like day and night.
or the experiences, situations, and circumstances that you deal with, that you process during the month, could be that different, could be that far apart from each other, that they represent day and night. So it'll be quite interesting to see how that plays out. Let's have a look and see the tarot card that's now going to contribute or connect with day and night for the theme for the month ahead. You see, I'm loving this. Oh, I can just see where this is going to go. So we've got the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is about the thinking. It's about the intellect. It's about the ideas. It's about the kind of thoughts that you have in your mind that you think, oh, right, should I go with it? Shouldn't I go with it? It's that whole kind of process. Now, here we have somebody whose mind is like a never-ending spiral. Difficult to see on camera, but right there in the core is a keyhole. And here they hold a huge big key. So they hold the key to their own subconscious, to their own conscious, to their own mind, to the ideas. But it's about recognizing the idea, recognizing that we need to use the key to unlock, to release it, and recognizing that everything is different. Nothing ever stays the same. Every day we have day and every night we have night. And it is this continuous evolution of change. And you've got to recognize that the ideas that you have may be day and night different from what you usually have, or what you usually think about, or what you're usually processing. And this is Spirit saying, don't question it. Just because it's completely different from the norm, because it's completely outside of your normal realm of experience, don't discount it. Okay, so start paying attention to the thoughts that you have. Start paying attention to the ideas and the strategies and the concepts that you have that come through, even if they are completely, like, I want to say, out of the ordinary, and even if it like completely makes you go like WTF, okay, just don't discount it, don't ignore it, and don't think, no, I can't do that, no, that's not right, that's not right. Just pay attention to all the thoughts that you have, all the ideas that you have, even if it takes you out of your comfort zone, even if it is the complete opposite of what you would normally go for. Pisces, this is the month to do that. This is the month to embrace and recognize with the Hierophant as the way that you're coming into the month. You're coming into this month with a lot of experience, with a lot of knowledge, with a lot of understanding around many things. So even though these ideas may take you out of your comfort zone, it's nothing that you can't handle. Okay, good. I'm loving this, Pisces. Our next card across is a card that's going to show us something that you absolutely will accomplish during the month of May. So something that you are going to achieve in the month of May. So let's have a look. What are you accomplishing? And we have the Nine of Wands, which is quite interesting. So let's just look at the artwork for a second. So here we have this beautiful lady, and she is sort of standing what looks like inside of a rose bush, and she has managed to get herself a couple of scratches, okay? And these scratches have all been, sewn closed, if we look at it. And, we all know that rose bushes have thorns. So as much as it is a beautiful rose itself, the flower, but we do know that you have to be careful going. So she may be ventured a bit too close. Now, as far as what you will accomplish, and it is overcoming any kind of catches, snares, or scratches that you may get. You will overcome them. You will patch yourself up. You will, and also it's about recognizing that I'm suddenly hearing that old adage, that old saying that says no pain, no gain. So it's almost like if you want to get to the pretty flower, you're gonna have to deal with a couple of scratches along the way. All right, because we know that the most beautiful of flowers are in thorn bushes, and you have to get through the thorn bush to get to the flower. So what you will accomplish is, yes, you may end up with a scratch or two, but it's not going to hold you back. It's not going to stop you, and it's not going to be that disastrous that you're not going to cope. Okay, so prepare for one or two little bruises, one or two little bumps and scratches in order to achieve that you are desiring and that you are wanting. So you can see with her hand, she's sort of like pushing the thorn, the branches aside to get to. And even though she's turned her head, it's almost like she's trying to protect the most vulnerable part of herself. So she doesn't mind getting a scratch there, but she's trying to keep her skin, her purity, as clean and as unscathed as possible. And this is something that you absolutely will accomplish, Pisces, which I think is great. So yes, we know that we're not going to go through life without a bump. We're not going to, get through life without a scratch and a bump, but actually we're going to be absolutely okay. What we have next is something that you really need to avoid during the month of May. So Pisces, what is something that you need to avoid at all costs this month? It is the card of the Lovers, but the Lovers is about that union, connection, that embrace between you and another person. We're not saying stay away from love this month. That's not what we're saying at all. But the Lovers card is about, when you love somebody so much that you're blind to the situation. Okay. So when you love somebody so much that you don't even realize they're a bird and not a human. Okay. So what we need to avoid is that kind of where somebody's pulled the wool over your eyes. Okay. That kind of blinding love. That is what we need to avoid. So going back to the scratches in the rose bush is something that you will accomplish. So this is saying to you that on an emotional connection, on an emotional level, sorry, let me use the right words. On an emotional level, there's going to be a situation where the feelings are going to be strong, the feelings are going to be real, the feelings are going to be extra. And you have to, at that point, reel yourself in, pull yourself back. Yes, we may get a scratch or two or three, but it's the way that we sort of perceive the situation. And if we can pull ourselves back in time, we can avoid the devastation that may come from being blinded by emotion, being blinded by somebody close to you doing or saying something that to distract you, to take your eye off. And remember, even if you have thoughts, even if you have ideas that are completely contrary, completely different, completely obscure, weird, and strange from your normal, please go for it. Listen to it. Believe it. You have the key. Open the lock, see what's there, and recognize that you want to avoid being so in love and so besotted and so enthralled by somebody that you're not seeing the truth. Okay, that is something to avoid. Now, the opposite of void, and that's what we have down here, is embrace. So Pisces, that is something that we need to avoid, but what is something that we actually need to embrace this month? So let's have a look over here, something that we need to embrace in the month of May. We have got the Magician card. So the Magician card is one of my favorites. I know I say that about most of the cards, but the Magician card is wonderful because the Magician card says that it doesn't matter what you faced. And I think I'm going to tie it quite nicely in with the Hierophant, because it doesn't matter what you face. It doesn't matter what you're up against. You have the skills, talents, and abilities to pull any kind of rabbit out of the hat. So here we have the Magician's hat, and coming out of the hat, we have a lady. Yes, she's wearing a gorgeous hat. She's got a swan, she's got a magic stick, a wand in her hand. So she is really able. There's a beautiful butterfly with her. She is able to manifest and to create anything that she desires. And remember, this is something that you embrace, which is basically Spirit saying to you that when you recognize what's causing the scratches, the bruises in your life, what's causing that, you have the ability to change it. Okay, so it doesn't mean just ignore it and just walk away from it. Okay, that's not what Spirit is saying at all. They're saying recognize it, see it for what it is, and realize that you have the potential. You have the key to change and to bring out of the situation whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you desire for yourself. But let's be honest, let's see the truth first before we make the decisions as to what we want. So I am going to say to you, what you need to embrace this month is your ability to manifest, to create anything that you want for yourself. But don't be so quick to jump into action. Let's make sure that we're seeing the truth first. Let's make sure that we're understanding the situation properly first before we make any decisions and before we pull any rabbits out the hat. Because maybe we don't need a rabbit. Maybe we need a beautiful swan. Okay? Right. Our next card, Pisces, is an obstacle that you may need to overcome. So this is something that you need to avoid at all costs, okay? Do whatever you need to do to avoid being in that particular situation. But this is a situation that you can't avoid, but that you need to overcome, that you need to step over. So let's see, an obstacle that you may need to overcome during the month. See, it's tying in, it's connecting. It's connecting because we have the Page of Cups, and look at her. She's looking into this teacup, and she has this little goldfish in a teacup, okay? And she is, you can see, besotted with the goldfish. She's also incredibly curious. She's looking at the goldfish, and she's going, Mr. Goldfish, who are you? What are you? How did you get into my cup? What are you doing in my cup? What do you want from me? What can I give to you? So she's sort of engaging in all of that. Curiosity is getting the better of her, okay? So this is the card of curiosity, getting the better of you in this particular case. Remember, this is an obstacle. This is something that you're going to face, that you're going to deal with, but you need to overcome, and this is what we need to avoid. So this is saying to you, make sure that your curiosity doesn't lead you down the wrong path. So that's an interesting, I'm going to call it warning for you, Pisces. So we are going to be curious. Of course you are. You are a curious being, especially considering, the theme of the month. You are absolutely going to be curious, but we need to make sure that that curiosity doesn't cause us to fall in love. I'm using that example because it's the Lover's card, okay? But it might not be anything romantic, but cause you to fall in love with somebody who doesn't deserve your attention. All right. Next card that we have over here is the support that's available to you, because this situation, it may be one that you can't really pull yourself out of. Okay, so what support is available to help you if ever you need the help, to make sure that our scratches stay as surface scratches and that they don't become huge big gaping wounds? So let's have a look. The support that is available to you during the month of May. Oh, love it, the Death card. So I know most people are petrified of the Death card. I know most people are like, no, 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 no. But in this particular case, we want the Death card as support, as the support that's available to you, because the Death card is basically saying change is your best friend. Okay, because that's what the Death card is all about. The Death card is about transformation and change. It is about the evolution of the soul. It's about the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. It's all of those kind of experiences. And the support that's available to you is you knowing, and I'm sure as you're listening to me right now, as you're paying attention and sort of connecting this to different aspects of your life, you know that change is inevitable. And the support that's available to you is Spirit saying that if you just go with the change, if you just go with the flow, if you just allow soul evolution and change to happen, you know that you're going to find your happiness and your bliss. The only way out of this particular situation, the only way forward for you is change, to recognize our curiosity. But remember, we've got this theme of day and night, which means that the way that we come in the month and the way we exit the month are going to be chalk and cheese different. And that is change. That is evolution. That is Death card, because certain aspects of yourself need to die. We need to face the truth. We need to see that this is a bird and not a person. We need to face those realities, those harsh realities. We may need to scratch the surface, and we may need to bleed ever so slightly in order to recognize, hold a second, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I talking to a goldfish? And only then can we make the changes that are necessary to bring us into the next phase, into the next experience, into the next evolution of our life. And you hold the key to this, nobody else, only you. So I think that's quite an awesome, awesome support card. Okay, now that you know what support is available to you, and we sort of know the kind of things that we need to embrace and avoid during the month, the next card that we're going to look at here for you, Pisces, is an action step that you need to take. So as we go into the month, as the month of May starts, what is an action step that you absolutely need to take? And we've got the Fool. And you know what? I love that, because the Fool is card 0 in the tarot, which means it's the very first card, but it's also before number 1. And that is significant, because the Fool card says you have no idea what you're stepping into. You have very little idea of actually what's coming up for you, but you're just going to trust. You're just going to go with the flow. You're not going to question. You're not going to say, listen, I need a 6-month projection here. You're going to be like, you know what? I trust. I trust that this change is necessary. I trust that this change is in my best interest. I trust that this change is for my highest good, and I'm just going to go with the flow. I trust the universe. I trust spirit. I trust myself. I trust my guardian angels to have my back and to support me. And I am just going to take that next step, even though I cannot quite see where I'm going, even though I don't quite know what's coming up for me. I know it's going to be okay, and I am just going to take that next step. I'm going to trust wholeheartedly, and I'm not going to question anything or anyone. Love it. Pisces, you got this. And finally, our last card, Pisces, is any other additional advice that Spirit may have for you. So anything else that Spirit feel you need to know, anything else that Spirit feel they want to share with you as we go into the month of May. And we have the 4 of Pentacles. So 4 of Pentacles is about, the effort that you've put into and the rewards that you're going to get. But it is the card of longevity. It's the card of commitment. It's the card of being there for the long time. But it's also the card of holding on to our stuff. So if you look at what she's done, she's made her house into her dress. So you can see that her dress, her house is inside of it. She's sort of holding it internally. She has this fence in front of her with all of these padlocks. So it's about understanding, things that you've been working on for the longest time, you've been holding on to, all right? And maybe now is the time to maybe remove some of the locks. We don't have to let them all go, okay? Because it's about this balancing act of how much we give and how much we hold back. What we put out there, what we reveal and what we share, and what we hold on to and what we pull back on ourselves. So the Four of Pentacles is the card of saying to you, be very aware of how much you're giving and how much you're holding back, and ask yourself, am I giving or holding back the right amount? Because I have been working on this for the longest time and we don't want to jeopardize anything. But I do want to remind you of the Magician card that we have here, and the Magician card is what you need to embrace. And remember, the Magician card is saying to you that you have the ability to pull a rabbit out of the hat anytime that you need to. You've got the tools, you've got the methods, you've got the systems, you've got the understanding. Okay, you've got the understanding of whatever it is. So you are very much in control and you are very much capable of achieving anything that you want to. So don't disconnect from other people just because of fear. Okay, don't disconnect or keep yourself separate because of fear. Embrace it. Embrace it and recognize, you know what, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm in this for the long haul. I am here for the long race. And therefore, maybe it's actually time that I start lowering my boundaries and start engaging and participating a little bit more. So that's just the guidance. Now, looking at these two cards, you know, it could be quite easy for you to say, you know what, I'm just going to surround myself with safety. I'm going to embrace my security. I'm going to put up the walls because I don't want to be taken for granted. I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. But the truth of the matter is, Pisces, this is necessary. This is part of the growth. This is part of the evolution. And I think you know this. I think you know this. So it's time to let your guards down ever so slightly. You don't have to drop them all, but Spirit are advising you and sort of saying to you, you know what, it's okay. It's safe. We got you. We got you. It's safe. So, Pisces, looks like you're in for a really fabulously interesting month. I'm quite confident that you have whatever it takes to deal with this, to get through this, to overcome this. And I'm not worried about anything for you. I actually think this is going to be just what you need. So embrace it, love it, live it. And I shall see you next month with love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care, Pisces.